Hey everyone, it's Miss Cristina here with the color wheel. I figured this week you guys might be exploring some color mixing or painting with your children, so I just wanted to give you a quick lowdown on the color wheel and how it works and how you can form some colors this week if you are on a shortage of them. So if you look at the wheel to start, it is the color wheel and it is circular and round. And the color wheel involves different groupings or families, as we call them, of colors. To start with the first one, the primaries, those are red, yellow, and blue. And this is a really important family on the wheel. The primaries are really important because you cannot make them, but you need them in order to make the secondaries, which are orange, green, and violet. So if you notice, the color wheel families on this wheel are connected. If you notice, the primaries form a little group or triangle, and then the secondaries do as well, which were orange, green, and violet. If you notice in between the squares, or the main primaries and secondaries, you'll spot these little circles, which are called the tertiaries. So if you're following suit here, we have the primaries, the secondaries, and now the tertiaries. So in order to form or mix different colors, as a rule of thumb, if you start and you have just primary color paints in your house, well, you can use two primaries, such as red and yellow, to mix together to form that middle color orange. So again, I'm taking two primaries, red and yellow, and I'm making a secondary. 1 plus 1 technically would equal 2. Again, if you're following rule of thumb, if you didn't have green, but you had two primaries of blue and yellow, you can mix two of those primaries to form that secondary green. And lastly, if you didn't have violet or purple, but you did have red and blue, of course you can mix those to form a secondary. Now, in order to form another group of colors, if you're noticing the tertiaries, you need one primary and one secondary to form a third or a tertiary. So the tertiaries, for example, are those kind of awkward in-between colors that you sometimes might not be able to name, like aqua or turquoise. So for example, on that one, I used to tell my third graders, I think it was, that this was you. And if your parents came together next to you and they both had a baby to form you, well, you were a little bit like one parent and a little bit like the other. So in this case, you have blue and green, and the same following suit as a rule of thumb, two colors next to each other will form that color in the middle. So the tertiaries are that third set of color that are kind of in between, and they are built or made by a primary and a secondary. The last family I wanted to touch base with, or the last color mixing I should say, is how to make brown. A lot of kids would say in school, oh, well, this paint box doesn't come with brown, or I don't have brown paint at my house. So again, if you have just the primaries, red, yellow, and blue, if you mix those three colors together, you will form a shade of brown. Also, another quick family I'm going to teach you about, not to confuse you, but to help, is the complementary colors. So if you think about a compliment, I would tell my kids, I'm talking to you and giving you a compliment. I'm across from you. Wow, that dress looks really nice on you today. If I'm across from you, purple and yellow are across from each other, you can mix complements to also make brown. For example, blue and orange also are across, just like green and red. Of course, if you need to make gray and you have black and white, you can experiment with how dark or light you want that to be by adding a little bit less or more white or less or more black. And if you wish to darken some colors, you would just add a little black. A little bit goes a long way. And if you want to lighten some of your colors up, of course, you can use white. So I hope this mini quick lesson will help urge you to do some color mixing with your children. Of course, I don't want you to tell them all of these secrets ahead of time. I want you to practice those on your own first. But if you're really stuck or confused and just can't remember how to mix old colors, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. All right, make some art, share some pictures of anything you guys create, and I hope you have some fun with your families during this time off. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.